Legend tales of a place where the booze flows freely and the stories are always entertaining. If you were bold enough to seek out such a place, head 13 miles down the Tuscan Highway to a tiny blues joint known as the Townsmith Tavern. Once there, enjoy the ride. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and Bowl.
Excuse me, you can't say that. You're gonna lose your family-friendly rating. You're gonna corrupt the kids.
BS! A podcast that invites you to grab a cold beverage, pull up a seat, and enjoy time with friends. And here are your hosts, Howard Blues and the Mark Kidder.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast for those about to rock, and we salute you. I am your host, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
Hello, Jaco. Yeah, I'm doing all right there, Howie Blues. Glad to be back for another episode. And of course, for those who are about to rock or need to rock or should be rocking, they should go check out our bonus episode with the band Saul, because it was an awesome episode and you can learn about some rock and some roll and a little metal and all kinds of other cool things that'll be of interest to you. Was interest to us the same way, and so, well, we sure hope that you'll check that out. You can check that out right here on whatever podcast or YouTube video audio service that you are watching or listening on at this moment. Just to check out the bonus episodes, if you will. So, how the hell are you doing?
You know, Kidder, usually on the podcast, I actually try and keep it pretty clean. You know, I don't tend to swear much. Not that I'm like with it. It's just, I don't know. It's become kind of a bit of a life habit now that I have a little one running around to just like cool it on the swearing. But really, the best way to put how I'm doing, and sorry if you, but Microsoft. It has been a hell of a night trying to make this happen. To fill the audience in, Microsoft decided that Howard needed to now, although never used it, have a PIN to log into his account. It wouldn't accept any of my usual that I keep, or the various combinations thereof, and it does not give me the option to sign in with the password. So I'm coming to you live a different account, because that's the only way I could pull this off.
Wait a minute.
Here.
So you basically had to hack your computer without hacking it.
Correct. I'm technically signed into my own laptop as high school hockey. It is my high school hockey account, and so of course Microsoft just set all that up. But yeah, I got to figure out how to try to get into my account with this whole PIN problem, and the PIN is stored locally, and the only way you can change it or even change the setting that it doesn't sign in with the PIN is to get signed in. But I can't get signed in, so I can't make any of these changes. So hey, if any of you out there in the computer tech world, local geek, have an
where are you?
Thought or a suggestion, feel free to send that. Although by the time this episode, that's going to be like 4 weeks from now. So
it's still possible that you're going to have the same damn issues then. So, I mean, we'll just give it a shot.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, that sums it up, Kidder. Microsoft. That's my mood tonight.
So the funny thing about both of those times when you said that on my end, Google actually censored you. Yeah. Yeah,
Did it?
I mean, not in the form of like it bleeped you or put the little asterisks on the closed captioning if we actually had that on and you could watch it. No, it just Microsoft. Okay, then. Well, it is what it is.
Well, good thing Future Howard's going to come in and he'll put that beep in there anyway, so audience will still get the meaning of it pretty easily. Okay, so now let me pick on Google. This is, man, turning into Howard rants on technology. Old man Howard's upset.
Hey, get me down. This is so damn thing scared damn it.
Yeah. Kidder, I just got done editing episode 19 of the podcast, and that's the one where Howie Jr. makes his appearance and was spamming all of the buttons on the sound machine, and none got recorded. So rest in peace, sound machine. You are a toy for Howie Jr. For anyone who loved that bit and that shtick.
Yep. It's may it rest in peace. There, now you can actually see it. I did the thing.
Yeah. There may be a memorial graphic for it at the end of episode 19. I don't know. By the time people are hearing this, that episode's been out. So now it's an excuse to go back and check out episode 19 and find that little Easter egg.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Mm-hmm. Just throwing stuff in there for no apparent reason or for a reason. And when and where and how, well, you'll just have to keep watching every single jam-packed episode of Beer, Blues, and BS because, well, we're here, so you should be too. Why not? Speaking of things that we need to do, let's discuss what's on tap because then we can start having a beverage and get this show really on the road and hit the afterburners because we'll talk about it a little bit later, but got to throw some stuff in the old suitcase so then I can hit the old airport tomorrow and the friendly fly the not so friendly skies. So we'll see what happens. But what do you have on tap for us this evening there, Jago?
Well, Kidder, unless you changed your plan from the other night,
my plan. This was your plan.
The plan.
It was the plan.
The plan.
It was our plan.
The plan. Yes, it was the plan. There are many plans out there, but only this is our plan. Anyway, we'll get into about the whole move. By now, of course, the audience has probably put together, hey, Howard is not in the same location he's normally in. Those happened. But anyway, I did share here with you. This actually is one that I truly enjoy. It's the Breckenridge Brewery. And it is a vanilla porter. A roasted malts with notes of vanilla. I'm trying to take the time because I was too busy battling Microsoft. See if there are any other tasting notes. But Kidder, I know you said you're not a fan of porters usually, but what you should find with this one is a kind of a nice smooth taste. Very much you should be able to pick up that vanilla taste right off the bat. Okay. So it's a very kind of nice sweet beer in a not fruity way, which makes it A-okay in my book. So
I see what you did there.
I'm going to crack into mine.
I do have to say, though, because even though they have fine ales and lagers, as mentioned on the neck, they are only the double B. So clearly not as good as the triple B. But at least they have 12 full ounces of beer in this. And yeah, I see your notes of vanilla. What else we got on here? Oh, it's made with real vanilla beans. How about that?
Yeah.
and it's 5.4% alcohol by volume. So, cheers to you, my brother.
Cheers.
Let's have a drink. There's that vanilla. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely can pick up that vanilla note in a nice way. Like it's not like a punch you in the face with vanilla, but it's like, ooh, vanilla.
Yeah. Not the worst thing I've had on this show. I wouldn't say that it's like a daily drinker type of thing. But for this show and what we're doing here, it seems like a damn good time. So, and of course, safety first. Go Sue. All right. Got some local lubrication so we can get on with it. As a few different people would say, including Rude Boy Kyle. So it looks like as we are moving right along, we got a couple stories, maybe a story about the moving on itself. So, like you said, you got a whole new backdrop there. You got a new door behind you. A lot of whiteness. I mean, or is that a window?
There's a door behind.
That's a window.
Oh, that's a window.
Oh, okay. You see, that's how low resolution your camera is. So we're gonna have to fix that. It's all blending together.
Well, that might just be the lag and such going through and such. We'll see how it interprets it. Really, Kidder, if you're gonna point out, new things in here, I thought you would have noticed the armrest that I'm using.
I thought you just liked holding your arm up in that position for a very long time.
No, Kidder. I have a rest here. It just so happens to be like 3 feet of pirate ship.
Yar! He got his booty. Yar!
Yeah.
Just one.
One of two. The other one is up in the garage.
Oh.
It would look weird if I sat here like this the whole night, so
very good.
Yeah, this is finally here. So I think there's a lovely fireplace behind me with a gorgeous mantle and some lovely recessed lighting that points right on it. I'm thinking this is going to look pretty good on that mantelpiece.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to do the old quarter turn. Then we can really see what's going on over there.
Yeah, so if I go about like that,
it's so bright.
Light, but you can see that lovely mantle right there. Lights are up there. I haven't turned off right at the moment, but I just got to convince Lefty that that's a great idea. So that's the real fight to come. But yes, Kidder,
and putting the pirate ship on top of the mantle. Is that what you're saying? Okay. I mean, that seems fair. We do have the Jolly Roger flag that would look and size perfectly above that / behind the pirate ship. So, I mean, we already have the aesthetics ready to go.
Yeah. This is all coming together. That's right. Thanks for signing in to the Triple B, the podcast that not only is a podcast, we're also a home decorating consultant.
We might as well be. I mean, if somebody wants to pay us to do that, sure, yeah. You're working on a $600,000 budget and you're a butterfly collector, then sure, we'll come on over and help you hang Sioux flags, Avalanche flags, Jolly Roger flags. We have a lot of flags to hang, a lot of banners. Although on this wall behind me and the adjacent wall over my right shoulder, there's no flags on there. I mean, unless you count the Sioux pennant windsock hanging from the sky. I have most of the flags in front of me, and the other pennants over here.
But there's a Fighting Sioux flag that's in the shot. It's right above Doctor Who behind you.
Oh yeah, over here, over my left shoulder. That is true. That is a very small boat flag. So yeah, I suppose it is one of the flags. But I have an Avs flag here, a Sioux flag here, and I had some other ones hanging up. Oh, I have another Avs one right over there that you can't see. All the rest of them went out into the garage, covered the walls of the garage. So, but astute observation there, Howie Blues. Thank you. Did you also notice the batleth over my right shoulder?
Well, of course, to your place. So
I know you've been here, but did you also notice the mechleth right here below the batleth?
Yeah, because again, and I've been to your place, and you show. Listen, I have taken the Mark Kidder home tour many times. many times.
Did you also notice right below the batleth and between the batleth and the mechleth that there's the certain mini batleth letter opener that was given to me by another son of a bitch that's part of this show?
Kidder, I'm not lying. I have taken that tour. I could give that tour. I might make some of the shit up, but I could give that tour.
Well, next time you're here for Summer Bummer, maybe we'll have to take me on the tour.
Yeah. Anyway, we started this off talking about my new place. We did get moved thanks to a lot of help from my parents, my brother. Kidder even showed up and helped. So we were able to get it moved. The really the big story, I think, from it, and it's the running joke that I kind of going that just developed, was everybody who seemingly was going to help or could have helped all got injured at some point during this. So my my dad, he helped us. We started on Monday, moving some stuff into a storage unit because we needed access, even though we had been promised it. So we didn't want to waste the fact that I had taken a day off and I had that. So we moved some stuff over, and later that early afternoon, evening, I get a call from my mom, and it's, is Lefty with you? I'm like, no, sorry, I'm walking to my car because I had parked on the street. Why? She goes, why? Is she available? They had to take my dad to the emergency room because he used a compound miter saw. He was making some rustic art for my sister, and the board slipped, and he ended up basically the blade. I'm going to move a finger up here closer, but the blade went kind of through the pad lengthwise. So kind of like you're splitting it in half. So they first took him to urgent care. Urgent care looked at it and said, we don't deal with that. You need to go to the ER. So they take him to the ER. He spends 2 hours before they give him a painkiller for it. And in the end, all they ended up doing was wrapping it, just tightly and such. So he wasn't real happy about that. He eventually saw his personal doctor. But he was supposed to have the next day, and we were moving a lot of the heavy stuff, so he shows up. So needless to say, he got a lot of grief from my brother who joined us. Everything from being called Stumpy to my brother keeping track of how many good fingers there were between the three of us. So a lot of grief. But it got me on this kick of, just my one joke was, if you didn't want to help me move, there were easier things you could do than cutting through your finger. Yeah. So by Tuesday, I started at about 7:30. We had our place cleared out by 8:30 that night. So out of the condo, excited for that. Went back to work Wednesday, and I'm talking to IPA Rob, and we were talking about some different things. And poor IPA Rob, he doesn't know what he did, but he somehow injured his foot like 2 weeks ago, and it just hasn't been healing. But he told me this. He told me, "Oh yeah," he's like, "I'm trying to get in to see my doctor because my foot hurts. I've injured it. And I don't know what's causing it." And I already told him about my dad in the compound miter saw. I just looked at him and said, Rob, if you didn't want to help me move, and he laughed.
No. Yeah.
So Friday we closed on this place. We started moving stuff in, and then Saturday was another big day of moving stuff. And you came and joined us. And it just so happens, Kidder, I forget exactly what you did, but if I recall, you like walked into like a door or got caught with a door or something, but you had injured your knee like shortly before. It wasn't like a serious injury, but I know it was giving you some trouble.
Because it glitched out there. You saying my knee?
Yes.
Oh no, that's my old training injury.
Ah.
Yeah. So it wasn't anything that actually happened yesterday. It didn't happen yesterday either. God dang it. Let me go to bed.
No. We got a show to record.
I know. We're gonna make it through this train wreck somehow. With or without me. No, that was just the result of the old shenanigans from the training days and all of that crap. I did end up with a black and blue something on my wrist here. I had no idea where that came from, and a couple like scrapes and whatnot. Couple blisters, but that's whatever. It's fine. We survived.
Anyway, I just know that you were there's a little complaining about past injuries and that, and I believe I used that same line of, "Oh, Kidder, if you didn't want to help me move, you could have just said so." So that was kind of the running gag throughout the whole thing. But currently we're in. We have most of our stuff in, quite a bit of it unpacked, but mostly it's because it was the essentials, the necessities. I still have a room full of stuff over at your place, Kidder, and at the the in-laws. So I'm gonna have to find a time to empty those two rooms and bring that stuff over and unpack all of that, such. But I do have a story, and this kind of leads into the another one of our topics, Kidder. So, in part of us getting out of our place, that was last week, on Monday, because we didn't have garage access, we tried to use the rest of Monday after we took those few loads over to just try and get done whatever we could. So I did things like I took down the child gate, safety gate that we had. And of course, it had damaged the wall, so I needed to touch that up. So used the clean compound, gave it a little bit of texture, so it kind of blended in with the wall, but then I needed to paint it. So I went to Menards. And I'm just like, I don't need to buy anything super expensive. I just want a couple of those little foam, you can get little kind of foam brushes that are really great for just a quick, like, dab on the paint, get enough coverage, and then I could just toss these things.
Yep, they're like 78 cents.
It was going to cost me all like, yeah, I think like my total ended up coming to like $1.11 with tax. So,
did you send in the rebate?
No.
You should send in your rebate.
Not for that. I don't even think I kept the receipt. But here's the thing, Kidder. As I'm in Menards, and Menards has their brushes in like 3 different spots. And I'm looking at a particular section. I'm looking for these little foam brushes. And this gal goes walking by kind of on the other side of the aisle. And not that I was truthfully trying to eavesdrop. He said it was just the kind of thing that, like you hear, like your brain click, like, did I actually hear what I just heard? But she walked by, and I can't, it's now been a while, so I can't remember the exact phrasing. But the key thing was that she said something, it was right along the lines of, we got to go and how did it go? I can't quite remember the beginning part of it, but the main thing that caught my attention was she said, pimping our buttholes. Now,
What?
At first, I was like, I didn't hear this right. She probably said something else, and my brain just misheard this, trying to piece it together. She couldn't have said what I think she said. But then she said it again. As long as, yeah, pimping our buttholes, she said to the person she was speaking to on the phone. Now, Kidder, this leads me to a question.
Yeah.
And hey, you're younger than I am. You're down with the slang.
Sure, yeah.
So it's either pimping in the traditional sense that I'm thinking, or there is some term that I'm unaware of that pimping now means. Either that, or my third option is that this was one of those, there's a kind of a prank trend on YouTube and TikTok where you kind of set up a camera to record in a store and you say something ridiculous on the phone, hoping that people will eavesdrop, and you'll catch their reaction to whatever crazy thing you said. I feel bad if she thought that's what she was getting from me, because I didn't react. I just continued to look at the brushes and, very much did I really hear that?
Well, paint
I apparently heard that. Yeah. So I don't
know of any of these trends or things like that, but I mean, people are smart enough to put rhinestones and little gems and things on their steering wheels in their vehicles, which I can only imagine what their faces would look like, the shock and horror if they got into a crash and the airbags went off. I mean, they would probably be in kind of rough shape, but at least their faces would be all sparkly. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just also a new thing of when people tell you to blow it out your ass. They want it to be all shiny and sparkly. So there you go. Get some gems all up on the hole and let her flow. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's yeah. But it was definitely, she was a younger lady, younger than the two of us. I could tell by the weird multicolored leggings she was wearing, but yeah, I couldn't help. I mean, it was just one of those things, like you hear it and you're just like, okay, all right, and then yep, I did. I don't know what it means. I hope it doesn't mean what it means, because why would you say that in public? But
you're standing there, you're sitting there thinking, you're like, come again? Yeah. Kids these days and their bleached assholes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nothing else on that subject.
I got nothing, Kidder. It was just one of those things. I heard it and I'm like, I have to now talk about this on the podcast. It was almost kind of one of those things of like, I don't really want to talk about this on the podcast, but I kind of have to, because it was just that weird.
Yeah.
It's content. You gotta use it, but at the same time, it's like
magic.
Yeah.
Well, we can exit that topic and flow right into something a little bit more depressing and kind of shitty as well. How about all the releases WWE has been making, including today, the 6th of August. That is the day after my birthday. 12 more NXT superstars have been released. The interesting thing behind this is there's talk about repackaging NXT, redoing the lighting, redoing the set, redoing the theme and functionality of the show, and seemingly making it more of the younger talent only. Kind of the original purpose that it was, or perhaps maybe just making it like Velocity and Sunday Night Heat. I don't know, but it's on the list to be changed and made a little bit different. Anyway, so names on this list, I have to be honest. There's one I went, how is that familiar? And the rest of them, no clue. So here are the 12 reported earlier today. Bobby Fish, Bronson Reed, Jake Atlas, Ari Sterling, or Ari Sterling, Ari, I suppose, Sterling, Kona Reeves, Leon Ruff, Stefan Smith, I'm sure it's Stefan, or it might be Steven. I don't know. It's like the PH and the dog with the like missing the bottom teeth and the Tyler Rust, Zachariah Smith, Asher Hale, Giant Zangier, and the name that I thought I recognized but probably don't is Mercedes Martinez. So they were all released from their contracts. And of course, to recap the other recent releases, Bray Wyatt was the big notable one. Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, and a couple more on top of that. Also, they finally announced that JoJo, if you remember JoJo, she used to be a wrestler in NXT, became the NXT ring announcer, and then did some ring announcing for Raw. And then Bray Wyatt ended up in a relationship with her while he was still married. He got divorced, and then they had a kid, and then now they just had a second kid a little while ago. She hasn't been on WWE television like a year and a half. They quietly announced that she had also been released. Probably like 8 months ago. But yeah. So now they can go do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, there's some of the names, just to touch on the NXT teams. Kona Reeves has been in NXT for a long time. Because he had just kind of debuted not long before after I kind of stopped watching. I fell behind. And that was like when Rude was champion of NXT, so it's been a while. So that one's kind of one. Probably the biggest name on there is Bobby Fish. He was part of the Undisputed Era, which was a stable or a faction on NXT. It was him and Roderick Strong and one other I'm missing, and Adam Cole. I'm trying to remember who the other one was. And so, you're talking about them, but they had just recently broke up, so it's kind of a thing. And Fish just was coming off of an injury, so I don't know, maybe they figured he was injury prone and let him go. Speaking of Adam Cole, there's some talk about the fact that his contract expired, and nobody really noticed until recently. So there's some issues there. They're trying to get him re-signed. It'd be interesting to see If there's a guy who could easily get into AEW, like easily, it would be Adam Cole. Adam Cole, Kidder, I don't know if you know a lot of the history of AEW. Started with the Young Bucks. They were a tag team. They started a web series with their pal Mega called Being the Elite, and they used it as it was a YouTube series. They used it as a platform to kind of get themselves a bit more over. The popularity of it grew. Cody Rhodes eventually showed up on there, but Adam Cole was on there for a long time. And it's kind of what launched. Hangman Page was on there. It's kind of what launched it. Its popularity grew so much that they were able to kind of ride that wave into AEW. So just that. But Adam Cole was part of that group. He's got friends in basically upper management of AEW. He could be a champion on AEW. He's too small, unfortunately, to be a champion. Probably on WWE, but
you're talking the main rosters, right?
Right. He's not a monster like Brock Lesnar or Bobby Lashley, but he's a talented guy, very talented. So it'll be to see what happens in that situation. The last thing I just want to touch on is Bray Wyatt. I think that was a terrible loss to WWE. There's a theory going out there, and I'll pitch this to you. I don't know if you heard this, but there's a theory going out there that part of this wave of releases is the idea that Vince McMahon is actually trying to basically feed talent into AEW and basically bankrupt them with talent. It's kind of what happened to WCW. When WCW started to take off with the NWO, you had just WWE guys just leaving kind of in droves and being signed and showing up and appearing here and appearing there. And it's part of what eventually caused the breakdown of WCW, because people like Kevin Nash, who was one of the first to jump over, got it written into his contract that if somebody came in and got a higher contract, then his contract got to move up and match that price. So as you fed talent to him, it kind of just ballooned the budget and eventually, killed it. So there's a theory that Vince is trying to do the same thing. And so he's releasing these big name talents, Strowman, like a Bray Wyatt, not only because it clears up his books a little bit, but that it also then could lead to basically too much payroll over on AEW and could help cause its cancellation. It's a theory. I don't know how much I buy into that, but it's a theory.
I had heard that one as well, which is kind of ingenious. Lay the landmines of over extending the brand, so then you have to pay for it, and go from there. See what happens. The other interesting thing that I had heard was about the WWE potentially being sold, and that Vince was attempting to offload all of these contracts to bring the overall price down and potentially bring up the amount of money that he could make on the sale, or the McMahon family could make off of the sale. I don't know what the truth behind that is. It's all purely speculation on all of it. So I guess we'll just end up having to see what happens with all of this. But notably, aside from those releases, recently Ric Flair was granted his release. He apparently had asked for his release to depart WWE. And then, as we have discussed previously on the show, the potential for CM Punk to join AEW, and also for Daniel Bryan to join AEW. And if CM Punk joins AEW, then I will be watching AEW, and I'll let you know what happens on the show. So that's that. Also, I guess as a kind of a finale to this little piece of info is Renee Paquette, who, Dean Ambrose or John Moxley, depending on which name you'd like to call him as, his wife, formerly Renee Young. She is now at the end of her non-compete clause, a 1-year non-compete clause. Absolutely absurd that it was a year long, but I mean, whatever. It is what it is. So that's now coming to an end. We'll see where she ends up as well. So aside from that, I don't know. We'll just see what happens in the next few weeks. SummerSlam around the corner. And, of course, a couple weeks we'll have the big preview for that and our picks. Just to give you a little bit of a tease on what we have coming up with that. And the only match I'm recalling at the moment is Edge and Seth Rollins. I know there's a couple other matches that have been announced, but that's the only one that's actually sticking with me at the moment. So stay tuned.
Just Lashley Goldberg and Cena.
Oh, that's
Reigns.
right. That's right. See what I mean? I knew them, but they just didn't stick because they were, I guess, predictable. so there's that. We'll see what happens. Real quick on that, what will be really cool is if, okay, I don't really want Cena to win, but if he wins, it would be interesting, breaking Ric Flair's record, which then again tying into Ric Flair asking for his release. Maybe he knows about it, and that's why he wanted to be released, because he thinks it's crap. That would be interesting. And then, of course, the Summer of Cena will be ending at the end of summer. Maybe, just maybe, then Big E can cash in on John Cena right afterward, kick him, and do what he's got to do the big ending, and 1, 2, 3, new champion of Big E. That would be cool. So let's make it happen.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. I don't see them taking the title off Reigns anytime soon. Just because there's the rumor and the pipe dream that you're going to get Reigns versus The Rock. And we'll just have to see. But that's one of those that I know everybody keeps speculating on. So we'll see. We'll see.
And of course, he is also The Rock, that is, still allegedly showing up at Survivor Series. So stick with the Triple B for the latest hard-hitting details and updates as we continue to get closer and continue the speculation. Why not? So there's that. Since we're talking about sports, I know that Howie Jr. is a little athletic, getting more athletic, and get a little bit crazier as he keeps growing. Sounds like he's been getting involved with some shenanigans and getting creative. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, well, and it's one of those things where he has started doing something kind of new, kind of different. He was with my parents, and my parents have several wired-haired pointing griffons, which are a hunting dog, and Howie Jr. likes to play with them. And my parents sent me, and I'm just pulling it up for you here, Kidder, so that you can hopefully see. Give me a sec, because of course nothing wants to work for me. He has started a new sport, and it works with one of my parents' griffons, their oldest one, Pomp. He's going blind as he gets older, but he's very kind of patient. And so Howie Jr. has invented the new sport of stacking rocks on dogs. So I'm going to share my screen here,
Okay.
Kidder, so you can see what is so far Howie Jr.'s record of 3 rocks on a dog. So there you go. Maybe we'll get to see this in the Olympics sometime. IPA Rob's already working on the rules for rock stacking on dogs. So hopefully in the next Summer Olympics, we will see rock stacking on dogs.
I could see there being a lot of cheating involved because, you get those really, really professionally trained dogs that are just trained to sit and point and not move for minutes and minutes and minutes and hours or something. Not that Pomp isn't at that criteria, but I mean, I could see some shenanigans going on. So it's good that we'll have some strong rules, just like the strongly scented IPAs. So fantastic.
Yeah, so thought I would share that. I thought it was comical. So, yeah, so look for that new sport.
Wonderful.
Stacking rocks on dogs.
We'll give it a throw or a go. See how long we can make it.
Yeah.
So what about this blues that I see? I mean, we do talk about blues occasionally. We do talk about music. We talk about all kinds of things here on the Triple B. That's beer, blues, and BS for those of you keeping count and doing the home game. I see something about review per se.
Yeah. So last Friday, Blues Traveler released their newest album. It's called Traveler's Blues, and of course, I had to run out and get me a copy. It is a 10-song album, and here's the interesting thing. It is all, except for one, these are all traditional blues standards that the band has taken and kind of put their own spin on. So these are older songs, kind of what you would call blues originals, things from the 1920s and 30s, and Blues Traveler has taken and modernized. Not to say like that they've added a whole bunch of things. Not like you hear like remixes today, or where a modern musician like samples a section of song. I'm thinking of like what Kid Rock did with what's the song? Kidder, help me out.
Are you talking about Metallica?
No,
when John Popper joined them?
No, I was talking about Kid Rock and sampled a song. There's a Leonard Skinner song, and it was kind of
yes, the Sweet Home Alabama and the Werewolves of London by Warren Zevon, and the All Summer Long shitty rip, just like how he had the shitty rip of Metallica's Sad But True. Yes.
Yeah. So it's not like these guys have done that. They have tried to honor it. It's kind of like you're taking one of the songs, I believe it's Sitting on Top of the World, is originally done by a blues harmonica player named Howling Wolf. And I have a couple of Howling Wolf CDs, and it's just the recording technology at that time, the sound isn't as full. And I know some true, enthusiasts are going to look at that and go, well, gosh, but it had all of the grit of that old time sound and that. But this kind of brings those old classics and standards to a modern time. There is one modern song in this with all the covers. They actually took a take on Gnarls Barkley's Crazy. And it's a pretty good take on that. Just to give kind of a general review, I liked the album. It's very good. You know, I will say their take on Crazy was fantastic. The 10th song, Trouble in Mind, is good. It's got some of that dark old blues that you can't get away with today. I mean, just these lines they slip in. I was going to look up the exact line, but one of the lines in there is about, I'm so stressed, I'm going to head to the nearest train track and let the 219 ease my mind. Basically saying, I'm going to let the train just hit me and kill me.
Was that part of the song a little flat?
Well, no. It's actually kind of a nice upbeat sound to it. So
perfect.
Overall, I like the album. If you've never really given blues a try, good album to pick up for it. I like that. I will say, for a Blues Travelers album, I like it, but I'm going to like it better when I put it into my Blues Traveler playlist and this gets mixed in. Because I'm so used to Blues Traveler a little bit more experimental. So when you get an album from them, you know, you kind of get a bunch of different genres. This is kind of one of the first times that they've done an album that's all like one genre, and it's kind of one note in that sense. And so while it's not bad, I missed some of the fun and surprises that you normally get in a Blues Traveler album. So overall, I highly recommend it if you've ever wanted to give blues music a try and are looking for some very good blues. Great album. But if you're used to Blues Travelers kind of often experimental side and playing with different genres and doing different things, you might be a little disappointed.
Very good.
That's my review.
I like it. I mean, I haven't heard any of it yet. I know I saw it on their page, I believe, and sent it over to you right away because I knew that if you hadn't heard yet, that you would want to hear about it. And one of these days, I will have to take a listen. Perhaps tomorrow when I'm flying off into the sunrise. Away from the sunrise. We'll see.
I will say, Kidder, one last note on it. There was a theory that I shared during review with Blake Betzall. The album doesn't fit the theory. So I'm just going to throw that out there. If you're wondering what theory I'm talking about, go listen to the interview and then you'll know. So
it's true.
Just wanted to throw that out.
I like it. I am interested to see. Oh, how about this? Which track is your favorite track off of the new covers album?
You know, I like Trouble in Mind. That one is good. I like their the second song on the track, You Got Me Running, is very good. And their cover of Gnarls Barkley's Crazy it's good. It's very solid. They have Rita Wilson in there singing with them. Her voice fits it very beautifully. And then John Schofield joins them on guitar, I believe. But overall, a very good take on that song. So
wonderful.
Yeah, so those are kind of my leading three. The leadoff song, Funk, is also pretty good. So
Funky Bitch, not to be confused with Crazy Bitch. Yeah, it's Crazy Bitch.
Yeah. So yeah, but it's good. It's good.
I started the offline download right as we speak, so it's ready to go tomorrow. I am downloading the information into my tricorder. That's right. Downloading it in there. See? Downloading. Got it ready to go. It's all tuned up. Where am I going? Is it that difficult to figure out? Where am I going?
I was going to say anybody who's been listening. I was going to say anybody who's been listening to this show already knows that you're traveling to Vegas to be along with your other Star Trek fans, celebrating the second best sci-fi series ever created.
You know, I have to say I'm sensing some hostility from you in the subpar sci-fi realm for some reason. We're going to send you home with a mild analgesic, and you can come back next week. Or, let me just ask, do you need to be escorted? Because we can make that happen too. You know what I mean? Make that happen. We'll teach you one of these days. I'll just keep this phaser right over here in case I need it.
Listen, I've already agreed to suffer enough in editing. What was it, 5 days worth of your travel vlog of the con?
Yes.
I mean,
the Kidder's Captain Log. It's going to be an interesting time. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I can hope so. Anyway, it's going to be full of interesting things like, how do we get through TSA? Are they going to confiscate my phaser? What do they think this actually is? You know, all kinds of interesting things. I actually, fun fact for you from a couple years ago, at the McCarran International Airport, which is the Vegas airport, going through TSA and metal detectors and et cetera, look over at the adjacent line, and they pulled a gentleman off to the side, and they have on the screen a picture of the x-ray from this gentleman's luggage. And they're discussing the potential concern and safety risk that is in the gentleman's carry-on. Would you like to guess what it was that set off the concern in the line at the TSA? Go ahead and guess.
Batleth?
No. Much less pointy. It was a replica of the 2009 Star Trek movie phaser in the box. In the box. Like, they scanned it and they're like, hey, you can't have, and just for clarification, this of course is a replica phaser from Star Trek First Contact, a much superior movie to the 2009 movie, but a replica, you know, it's got the little ability for the front of this phaser to spin between stun and kill mode, and it's shiny, heavy, it's got batteries in it, much like my tricorder. Does kind of the similar thing, you know, it's got a light in the front and the side and glows and makes the sounds and stuff. So it's like, really? Yeah. Let me just put a couple extra double A's in it, power this up, and I'm going to take over the airport. Really? I don't know whatever happened because, you know, we had to go to our flight. But just very interesting seeing a phaser on the X-ray screen of concern. TSA interrogating this poor gentleman. Like, that dude was just at a convention at a con! And, you know, you got to harass him like that. Also, in case you're wondering what the shirt is all about, this character on the screen, or my shirt of the screen print, is Nog. He was the first Ferengi to join Starfleet in Deep Space Nine. So if you'll work through the Deep Space Nine series, which I definitely recommend you do, you can see the introduction to Nog and his race, shall we say, heritage, if you will, of the Ferengi and how crazy and financially, I don't know, I guess trickery, like the amount of trickery they want to go through just to make a little bit of Latinum, to wanting to join Starfleet, becoming a member of Starfleet, and going from there. The one certain episode, the crew, or part of the crew, ends up going into the future, and Captain Nog at that point retakes command of the Defiant, and goes back to attempt to basically return to history and find Captain Sisko. Anyway, the actor Aaron Eisenberg sadly passed away a couple years ago already, 2019, I believe. It wasn't long after the 2019 Star Trek convention in Las Vegas. So what was neat is I was able to see him and listen to some of the Q&As that he was involved with, see him dressed as a Ferengi, as Nog, in his uniform that he still had from Deep Space Nine when he was on Deep Space Nine. So this shirt purchased as part of the fundraiser for the funeral expenses and for his family, to make sure that they're taken care of. So probably wearing this shirt, and that's why it's Captain Nog forever. So there's that. Figured I'd explain that. Other than that, Batleth is staying here at home this year. I paid the shipping to get it here, so I don't need to pay to get it back and then back again. So we'll do that. But I already got my communications devices and comm badges ready to go. Just for the record, here's one of the next generation authentic comm badges from Roddenberry, and then also part of the next generation, one of the alternate future comm badges there, where you actually see Wesley Crusher as a lieutenant in that episode. So there's that. Just a couple things, and go from there. Also, just so you know, I do have my captain's ranking insignia, so you can address me as such. Engage. What?
Not gonna happen.
What?
Not gonna happen.
Why are you shaking your head at me? What?
What? Because I'm not gonna call you captain. Because kid, as far as I know, I'm the only one here who actually has a ship.
well, okay. You want your ship may be bigger in the physical sense, but mine's cooler. I got this pewter version of the Enterprise C, which also is an official Navy insignia right there. The CVN 65 for the Enterprise aircraft carrier. This was made from the metal from the aircraft carrier as it was decommissioned.
I mean, that's cool. That's cool, but it's no 3-foot pirate ship.
I have one question. Do I need to go get the Batleth? Do I? Or just
for what?
Or just show off my 25th anniversary Deep Space Nine pin?
Yeah, you showed off most of this in episode 3. So if you want to see Kidder's whole collection, go watch that episode.
Thanks for pointing them in the.
It's an oldie but a
Thanks
goodie.
for pointing them in the right direction.
Yeah.
Well, this was fun.
It's okay. It's okay, kidder. One of these, I'll bring up the whole Star Wars collection, and we'll sit and we'll go through it all. Mm-hmm.
Well, well, that's all right. I mean, it'll be fine because you can share it with our friends here on the Triple P, and I'll take a nap.
Oh, you can try.
Oh, okay.
You can try.
All right. We'll see what happens. It'll be a good time. I support his nerddom. We're just joshing. Josh has nothing. Josh has nothing to do with this. So there's that. All right. Again, flying out tomorrow morning, so we'll have some fun at the Khaaannn. See what's going on down there. I'll attempt to have the Kidder's Captain Log communiques cordially sent over to you. Do what we can, and perhaps there will be a bonus episode created from all of this. Otherwise, well, you'll just have to join us next week live, sort of, from the con. We'll be having ourselves a good old time next week as well. So, any final thoughts before we start doing a couple cheap plugs?
No, I was actually just about to say, we've been talking for quite a while, kidder, so it's time for those cheap plugs.
Man, that sounds like a standard phrase that uses for the code word for us to get to the end of the episode. So, since I heard the what the hell was it from Pee-wee's Playhouse? The secret word of the day, is that what it was?
Yeah, this one isn't so much a secret if you've been listening. This is much more of the like, all right, it's time to go home.
Let's wrap this shit
wrap
up.
it up.
Come on. Start doing that. Okay. So, a couple things we'd request that you please give us a like on Facebook. You can find us at facebook.com/beerbluesbs. Also, on Podbean, you can find us at beerbluesbs.podbean.com. Check that out. Also, a lot of places to find us on the old podcast to watch or listen to this here thing that we call a show. Of course, on YouTube, you can watch the show. If you'd like to just listen to us so you don't have to suffer through the visual experience, well, we're bringing it to you. You are in luck. You have the ability to watch it on Google Podcasts, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify. How about iHeartRadio, Pandora, perhaps, Amazon Music, Stitcher, TuneIn, IMDb, and Player FM, just to name a few. And our website where you can even buy us a beer, beerbluesbs.com. Click on the buy us a beer button because we would love for you to join the show, be part of the show. If you buy us a beer or 2 or 3, we'll even give you a shout out. So type us your special message right there. I mean, you could tell us to buzz off if you'd like, or send some words of encouragement because we would certainly appreciate that as well. And of course, we'd also appreciate if you share us with your friends. You know, sharing is caring. Right, Howie?
That'd be correct.
I figured I'd throw something at you because you were just waiting for me to get this whole thing wrapped up. So let's do just that for the one and only, the Howard Blues, the Jake Blues. He's over there on the other side of this communique. I am the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Triple B. Next week, live from the con. And aside from all of that, well, free beer tomorrow. We'll also, have a good time tomorrow. And we hope that you join us down the old dusty Tuscan highway. So, got to get my communicator. Hold on. Let me just put this on again. Tuscan to Enterprise. 1 to beam up to the con.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
Future Howard is by no means editing it in such a way that you teleport actually out of there.
Oh. You didn't see what I dropped in the folder?
Nope, haven't looked. I've been locked out of my computer.
Yeah. So, how about this? Hold on. I'm going to do this so then you have the ability to... Aw. Killing me. Hey, what? Hey, the hell is this? I gotta do it again.
I was gonna say I should have muted myself because
Okay.
I here, give me a sec.
Nah, whatever. Whatever. There we go. Was that enough? Enough spins? Should I do another spin? Let me do another spin. That should work, huh? Maybe.
I had to mute myself
be.
because the way you did it, I couldn't. Wait, I gotta wait for you to put headphones on. My problem was that you got up and you did it and you made me laugh. So then the camera cut over to me when you spawned it, so I had to mute myself.
Yeah, that's all right.
Oh,
Gotta.
at least I now know what's going in at the end of the video.